Good evening, this is Kuro. Got a clan battles game going over the matchmaking. It's a North American clan. Enemy composition is Yamato, Des Moines, Triple Henry, Stalingrad, Grozavoy. This is a pretty standard comp for the beginning of this season. Cuter's running with Montana, Des Moines, Worcester, Double Salem, Moskva, and my Shima. Um, so, gonna talk a bit about the destroyer end of the fight. The destroyers are usually going to end up on this map duking it out over who's going to own C-Cap. And obviously the different destroyers, they have their own different strengths, and in this case we have a Grozavoy and we're going to have a Shima, and I'm going to talk about how both want to utilize their advantages to basically get the real estate that they want. A lot of this game is going to be um, the RPF cat and mouse uh, trying to zone each other out of the cap, or at least me zoning him out of the cap, and it makes this battle interesting. Um, at least from a technical destroyer standpoint, there's a lot of information here that I can cover, and we're gonna get down to it. So for starters, this is one of the routes that I do take up to CCAP. Um, there's a lot of different routes that I will take simply because you can't be predictable in this. Particularly me now putting this level of videos out here. Um, it's too easy for somebody just to, predictively torp you. For example, if this was against another Shima, they would be launching torpedoes right in here because eventually I'll be moving right through there. So, it's something that you need to think about when you play these guys. This season goes on for weeks. You're gonna get a look at the same players, the same tactics over and over again. Now, the Grozavoy's on C-Cap. I poke out, I spot their Stalingrad, and I've got an idea that this guy is either on this end of the island or this end of the island. He doesn't want to be right into the island because he'll end up toast. Now, he is angled out, he's playing smart. Now, I am not stepping on cap right now. I'm just playing patient. Was kind of hoping that one of my torps would pinch him out. That didn't happen. Now, what I'm seeing right here, we've got one Henry that's already kiting back. We've got this Stalingrad. I'm thinking their team composition only has one or two radars, so their Des Moines is probably over here. So I'm not gonna beat around the bush. I'm just gonna bait this radar, you know, get shot at, and then move back into the cap. Now, this is where the Grozavoy needs to make a move, and I think that it's rather critical that he didn't. Now, I don't know where this guy was at the time that this radar happened. If the Grozavoy didn't have shots, they should not call for radar at this point, because this Henry, there's no way this guy's going to be able to hit me. Well, I should say very unlikely he's going to be able to hit me. He's most likely out here already, and that's a heck of a long shot. So I kind of am anticipating this Grozavoy smoking up out here, right back here, and using the radar to spot me and punishing my ship. I'm expecting at this point fire from the Stalingrad and the Grozavoy. And this is how Grozavoy wins caps. It uses its team's radar, chips away at your HP, and then when you get chances to chip back at him, he's got to heal. So you constantly get weaker. He can recover some of what he lost. Now the issue with the Stalingrad, he radared as he was reversing. So that short little hop that I took up here, took me right outside radar range. It's only going to take me a few seconds to reverse back in here. But I don't believe that the Grozavoy has broken this line. So what I'm doing is I'm launching torps. The idea is that I want to prevent this Grozavoy from reversing up here and launching torps that may threaten my escape route. So now the Grozavoy is back on cap. Now I've got my cruisers. I've got the Des Moines here. I've got the Moskva here. And it's my Des Moines popping radar. Now here, I'm not going to smoke up. The reason why I'm not going to smoke up, I want to be able to see this Stalingrad. When he shoots my teammates, I don't want this guy to drop off. So I'm just going to keep him lit. And yes, I could be doing damage to this Grozavoy, but in my opinion, keeping this guy lit so he can't pull off any, sneaky shots into, our Salem back here is relocating. If he got briefly spotted, I wouldn't want that Stalingrad to be able to stealth shoot him. So I'm going to dump my third set of Torpa on this Stalingrad. Now, what I'm going to do, I've noticed that this DD is starting to work this corner. That's a couple times now that he's setting up shop here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to reposition. I'm going to try to zone this entire area out. And maybe if I get lucky, he tries to come back another time, and we can mess him up again. So I'm going to hop across the cap. Now there is risk of torpedoes here. Honestly though, I view the torpedo threat more in this direction because I was last spotted in this location. Now what I'm doing is when I launch these torpedoes, let me look back at the cap. The cap circle runs like this. I don't want to dump my torps in here because if you look at my concealment, I'm actually going to zone the Grozavoy completely out of the cap. My 5.6 is almost to that island. I want to dump my torps back in here to try to catch this guy. As he reverses into me, he gets spotted, he goes to slide forward, bam, torps in his face. That's my plan. And now I'm just going to reverse back in, get torpedo safe. And this entire time I'm doing this, you look at my spotting damage. My team's just chipping away at this Stalingrad, and they're doing it from cover here. They're all hugging these islands. You look, and this Stalingrad's not really getting shots out. He's just constantly losing HP. Now, okay, here comes the Grozavoy. We basically force them to pull the DD out to come relieve pressure on the Stalingrad. This is nice for us because the points are ticking for us. This is giving us an advantage. Third set of torpedoes comes up. I just drop them right into that smoke. Really, I probably should have dumped right in here. Now I'm thinking that he might come and try to work this area of the cap. So what I want to do, if you look, I'm set to reverse right in here to block that. But Grozavoy torps are really sneaky. They're fast. They've got very low concealment. Thankfully, they don't have huge alpha, but I still don't want to eat one. So I'm playing very safe with the angles. Now I see RPF starting to shift. Now what that's going to tell me is torpedo wise, the torpedo threat would still be here for, the next 25 to call it about 35, maybe 40 seconds, depending on the range that he would launch from. And you need to angle at that. DDs get in trouble if they just angle at their RPF. Now, what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to reverse and use this island as a shield. I see that he's going to be coming up either into here or in the middle. Now right here, you see me look back. My Des Moines has called for smoke. This Yamato's pushing up, and he's going to have direct line of sight to my Des Moines. And I know at this point that the Grozovoy's probably gone mid. He's going to try to do a spotting operation, spot my Des Moines for his Yamato. It's a really strong play. However, I'm just going to reverse right through here, drop this smoke, and my Des Moines going to, he's going to be alright. And actually, I think he's alright until he starts shooting. Now, Stalingrad's pushing up, and actually, thinking about it, it's not the Des Moines shooting, it's the Stalingrad radar that sets up our Des Moines. He's locked in a crossfire between the Yamato and the Stalingrad. This is a really solid play. Those torps, I can't go back on a replay. I basically stacked them extremely tight because this Yamato is going, I know he's just going to push right up this island. There's no sense in laying a fan cone, just stack them. And for people that, you know, say you can't launch torps quickly with legendary Shima, yes you can, just like that. It takes a little practice doing it, but you can launch those really tight volleys like that. So, thankfully, Stalin shooting at me. That's one less at my Des Moines. However, I don't think it's going to end well for my Des Moines. I see the Stalin looking at my Des Moines, so I'm just going to start shooting the Stalin. Stalin keeps looking back at me. Now this is something that your destroyer player should do. I feel pretty safe like this. I'm angled. This Stalingrad's going to have a hard time predicting where I'm going, what I'm doing. And look at that torpedo spread. I mean, that's a tight cluster, and I do get lucky, and I'm able to put two into the bow of that Stalingrad, take him out. Unfortunately, that Yamato finished off my Des Moines. Now that's going to create a situation here. And that situation is, we know the Grozovoy was mid. The Moskva is now in a duel with the Yamato. We're at 825 points, they're at 623. I know that this Grozovoy is coming. We have to keep the point running on this cap. If that Grozovoy is allowed to stay in here, and even just block the points, they've got a chance of catching up to us quickly because they've got a 2-point cap advantage. Now, I don't think they're going to be able to hold A. We've got our Montana pushing on this Des Moines. We've got a Worcester. I can't tell how healthy the Worcester is because of the vision mechanics in the game. So I don't know if this Worcester is hiding for his life or what's going on here. But my focus is I need to keep points running for C. This is a relatively healthy Grozovoy. I'm a fairly healthy Shima. And, you know, we're going to have to figure something out. And what that something is going to be is I get lucky in the form of my Moskva catching him. He pops radar, and we see the Grozovoy. Now what I'm going to do, people that have watched my videos before, you've seen me do this. I don't want to have a straight up gunfight with this guy. I basically want to just club him without him able to do anything to me in return. And how I'm going to do that, I'm going to pause it right here. Okay, you see that I'm, you know, but I'm sticking out of this island right now, and I'm taking my shots on this Grozavoy. What I'm going to do, I'm going to use this island that you see the lead that I have to take to shoot this Grozavoy. When this Grozavoy looks back at me when I'm driving forward, he's going to be having to shoot into the rock to hit me. So what that's gonna look like is, you see I start to accelerate forward, he's starting to look at me, I'm turning into the island, you see my ship turning in, look how tight that angle's getting now. This guy, he's completely unable to shoot back at me. Here comes another volley on him. Speed it up a little. Now Shima's exceptional at this because 66% of her DPM is on the back of the ship. So with Shima, you can actually take the midpoint of the ship and keep it behind this island, and you can just stick your stern out and shoot right around it, and you won't be detected as long as the center point of your ship is concealed. There's a lot that you can do with this. Z46 is another one where this is really nasty. By the same token, you can take Daring, Gearing, Grozavoy, Z52, and stick your front two turrets out and do the same thing. I just prefer it with the Shima because on the stern of your ship, if you get in trouble, you can just drive away. With the other ships, you have to try to reverse out of the situation, and that's not nearly as quick. So, gonna speed this game up back to normal speed. Radar goes down, and time to start slowing it up again. Okay, my team has cleared out the Des Moines out of ACAP. We're gonna get A free. Now, that's telling me that they're in desperation mode. So I'm expecting a rush from the Grozavoy. He's going to try to rush me and take me out the best way he can, and I need to get ready. And what I'm looking for is, my RPF is pointing at the Yamato, 7.1 kilometers. I know this because the Grozavoy was last seen headed in this direction. He's not going to be able to circle back and get that RPF on him that fast. Now watch this RPF switch. I'm just sitting here. I'm staying somewhat angled because I'm expecting torpedoes. I've got my speed boost on, so when torpedoes do pop up, I can accelerate quickly and try to dodge them. Maybe I should speed it up a little. Now this right here is a little cheat that you do. When you're expecting to get bumped by a destroyer, you don't want to be sitting perfectly still, and you damn sure, if it's a boat that has more DPM than you damn sure don't want to be reversing into them. So what you want to do is be moving somewhere between, a half and a quarter, or a quarter and stop, depending on how much faster, how fast you're anticipating that destroyer rolling up on you. And the intent of that is to, I have a 0.4 kilometer detection advantage on this Grozavoy. I want to be able to extend that as long as possible until I feel that it's 100%, in my favor to make that engagement, whether he points his guns the wrong way or whatever. Now the other thing I'm doing, because I'm accelerating away, if there were torpedoes headed through here, it's also giving me more reaction time to be able to launch torps. And I'm doing this because I'm feeling that he's coming here. RPF isn't telling me yet that he's coming here, but I'm almost 100% sure he'll be pushing right through here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to spin and I'm going to launch my torpedoes right down this arc, and I'm using this speed to try to keep me more safe from torpedoes. It is a little bit risky making this turn, but I want to be able to get something out here just to make this guy, you know, think for that fraction of a second when those torpedoes are coming in, that can be the difference between, you know, me winning this fight and him winning. There's the RPF switch. Now I know he's under 7 kilometers right now. And this is the power of RPF. That third one I should have put closer into this island. Now if you look, I was at 4.1 knots. And it bought me that initial, you know, few seconds. Now he's, you know, sharply angled to me. He's only using his front guns. I'm using all 3 guns right back at him. Now if I had to aim that other set further out, it would have been a lot better. You can see he's making the turn now. He opens up and that lets me land a good hit on him. And at this point, my Moskva helps me put him down, although that last volley would be able to finish him off. His guns most likely wouldn't be able to finish me off, and that's going to pretty much round out the game. I hope you guys enjoyed this little game of cat and mouse. If you've got any questions or comments about contesting caps, working caps, these are things that, you know, people when they talk about destroyer plays these days, a common misconception I hear is, you know, destroyers shouldn't cap or, you know, that kind of thing, and it's absolute nonsense. There's a lot of ways to mitigate those threats. I've got plenty of videos on how I do it. It's something that you have to plan and you know, do in a thoughtful manner. And this is the level of thinking that you need to think of when you are facing, you know, the best destroyer players on the server. You need to be very calculating. You need to be very cunning, because there's a lot of scary good destroyer players out there that are going to eat your lunch the moment you screw up. And you know, that's just that. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, if you got any questions or comments, leave them below, and I will talk to you later.